Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill reconnected, getting back together. Well, maybe. Hey guys.
What's going on, y'all? What's happening today?
SHPC squad. If you're not part of our squad, subscribe right now. Click the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can get all of our notifications. And thank you guys for tuning in. We're so happy to do another video. We have some good details for you guys about this Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill reconnected, getting back together. Well, maybe.
That's what they say, right? So we have some sources that came in through Hollywood Life and also through Inquisitor that this morning, we woke up, tried to see what was happening, what's going on in the industry, in the entertainment industry, and one of our favorite old couples. We say favorite old couples because when they first got together, they was one of our favorite couples. We thought they were a really nice power couple and they fit each other well. They looked really genuine. But Meek Mills and Nicki Minaj, supposedly from their sources, it seems like Nicki Minaj might be thinking about wanting to rekindle her relationship with Meek Mill. So Meek Mills is locked up right now, so I don't think he really has a whole opinion about everything that's going on.
Right, he's not quoted in any of these sources, unfortunately.
I mean, it's not funny, not right. Free Meek Mill, right?
Free Meek Mill, disclaimer.
Yes, this is not a joke when it comes down to him and his situation, what's going on in Philadelphia. I'm from Philadelphia. I've been in the Philadelphia systems for things that I feel like I didn't deserve. I know exactly what he's going through, how they treat us there, and some stuff that need to change. And hopefully, he's an example of some motivation and some momentum that can help us to change the system in Philadelphia. But besides that, back to the relationship at hand.
Well, in the beginning, I really loved them together. Like, I felt like they were going to actually make it for a long time, only because I felt like it was like an oxymoron a little bit. Like, he's like this street dude from Philly, and she's somewhat the same, but she still was more commercial. And at the beginning, he was kind of not as commercialized as to when they got together. So I was just like, oh, this is going to be a perfect match. She's commercial and he's going to be perfect commercial too. I was just putting it all together. So I was really excited about their relationship as far as musically, what it was going to do to both of their careers being together. And then when they came up with that song, was it By Heart?
Yeah.
Was it that song?
We played that a lot. Yeah, we played that.
So I think that was like one of the first singles that they released together was By Your Heart as far as mainstream. And I love the song. We played it on repeat. Like, it was so good. And I feel like, at that time, like, you know what? I really can see how this created such a honest relationship. So I thought. And then when I listened to his album too, that came out, Wins and Losses, I was like, oh, okay, wow, because that just happened to be like around the time they end up ending their relationship. So it was kind of like seeing the whole thing, from beginning to the middle to the end. Of course, we don't know them personally, so we don't really know exactly, but just from what they're showing, it showed in that By Your Heart song and video that they really had some feelings for each other. So I felt like it was genuine.
Yeah, I did too.
I felt like it was great. Now, I didn't like how they got together. As far as, Meek Mill kind of, playing a little snitch game when it came out to Safari, as far as what he was doing, but, whatever, as long as you get it how you need to. And I just felt like it was just so good that they got into this relationship and they were very honest with each other from what it looked like on the music videos and the songs that they made. And I felt like they were transparent, about their relationship. He was not as vocal about, about her, but when he did speak about her, it was always in great context. And then also talk about the experiences that they had, with him. He said on the Power, was it 103.1 or 105? I can't really, but it's one of those Breakfast Clubs. He was on the Breakfast Club and he was just talking about how, he took her to the hood with him. And, she saw what he did in the community and things like that. And I felt like that was very pivotal for me to hear as a fan, and also as a fan of their relationship. Like, wow, you guys actually going the extra mile to, walk in each other's shoes in business and see what it's like. And he did speak about him doing vice versa with her too, but I didn't really know how it affected him until the Wins and Losses album came out. And it kind of had me a little mixed, but I love their relationship and I really would like to see them rekindle something. Actually, I don't know. I can't really say. I have a biased point of view. I have yes, and I also have a no, because it'd probably be great to see it, of course, because it'd be great sales, great marketing. I think that'd be awesome in the business or marketing field, but I feel as individually, it probably won't be the best right now. Just because of what he said in his Wins and Losses album, you know, about all the things that came with it and going too fast. And I don't want him to go back to old methods or old, you know, if she wants him, she wants to be willing to change too. And if that's the case, then I'm all for it. Both of y'all changing for each other to move forward, that's great. I can attend to that. So I do like them together. It just depends on what they're trying to go and what their end goal, you know, is. I do know that she did go to his, when he had to go to what's it called? He had a court case, and she went with him. Oh, she was there when he actually had to go to court. So I do know that she was kind of active, you know, as far as post their relationship. Like after their relationship, she still was his friend and still reaching out. But, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of feel like just from a music fan point of view, because, you know, I'm a big fan of music. Music is my heart. It's magic. It's, you know, it really is a frequency that you can really feel people. So even though we don't know their whole story, it's just kind of going off the vibrations and the energies. I definitely felt like, you know, I'm a big fan of Meek Mill. I feel like he has the heart of the streets. He really speaks to the streets when it comes down to the things that people who grow up in the hood may go through and may not have a voice to express or be able to understand some of the behaviors that may come from that. And then also with Nicki Minaj, I felt like, especially when she first came out, you know, I was a big fan of hers, just seeing her grind from where she came from to where she at. And then, you know, from that point of her grinding from where she been to where she at, I feel like some things kind of went off a little bit as far as me being a fan of her music, particularly. You know, everybody has their certain market. And, you know, I kind of fell out of her market when it came down to her lyrically. But I still respect her as an artist. Like, you know, to what she's accomplished and things like that, I feel like, you know, when it comes down to anybody and our people doing their thing, then, you know, it's respectful. But when it came down to them getting together in a relationship, I really felt like they was a really big power couple, and they symbolize, you know, kind of people around our age group, because sometimes we'll have some power couples or some celebrities that get together and that we idolize, and, you know, they're a little older when it comes down to that. And so we kind of had hopes for them to be able to stay together and keep that kindle going, because, you know, we related to that. But we did see it started to be a little bit, it started to seem like it was becoming toxic when it came down to Meek, you know, kind of disconnecting from what he was already, what he was used to, what made him good, like as far as him sticking to the streets, as far as him sticking to his music. It seemed like his mentality started to shift when it came. Certain people bring out certain things in people, you know, we say that all the time, and it just seems like when it came down to it, the lifestyle that Nicki was involved with wasn't the best thing for Meek at that time in his lifetime. So even though that relationship or that love could be, you know, that can be kindling, it seemed like they kind of started to grow apart when Meek started to notice that, hey, this isn't making me my best self. And Nicki started to notice, like, hey, this is me right now at my top, and this is who I am. Then it seemed like that got into the way of both of them trying to figure out where can they go together, even though they had that chemistry, that love for each other. Some things is going to have to change about both of them, that, you know, if they're willing to accept each other's flaws, then they still have to change some things about each other. And sometimes, you know, it might not be worth it at that time. You know, if it really, if it comes down to you having to jeopardize your character and jeopardize who you are, and it makes you get misaligned with what your ultimate purpose is, which it seems like as soon as he dropped her, you know, not everything started to line up, because obviously locked up, right? Mm-hmm. But it seems like as far as music is concerned, he found his voice again, and he, you know, found who was really backing him on it and who he had to represent at that time. And, you know, no album has really top that as far as when it comes down to being the voice of the streets since he dropped it, right? Even though he's locked up, it's still, you know, it's still the voice of the streets. We still hear it, and it's just unfortunate that that they grew apart, but they still was a great symbol, you know, when it comes down to it. So I don't know, we don't know what will happen in the future. Maybe they'll get back together, maybe they won't. Bless you. Maybe they won't, but at the same time, like, we like what they symbolized at first, but then it also seemed like it was toxic for them individually. So, you know, I don't want to see somebody get together if it's not best for the both of them, even though, you know, it might be best for the crowd or for the marketing or, you know, for us as fans, if you think about it that way. But, I don't know, it seems like I said, Nicki is going through a lot right now. She's in the media for a lot of different guys from the past, and some things with if she gonna stay on top of the game. She got some females coming after that spot, and she needs to step up a little bit. I would like you to step up a little bit more if you want to keep that crown of being on top. And like I said, I respect you as an artist, but
do more musically.
I'm gonna need you to step up and do a little bit more to, take control of that hold if that's what you really want to do.
No, really. I feel like Nicki Minaj definitely needs to like step up a little bit as far as musically. I mean, she's been doing songs, but honestly, there have been features, or it's like somebody's featured on her record. Yeah. Or like, things like, and it's like, Nicki, I really want, like, forget Nicki Minaj. I really want Onika. If you can make an album, Onika, really. Yeah, and if you take the time off, this must be the time for you to find yourself. In every power couple, whether you are physically together or whether it's of a past, you learn something from it. Not only do you learn something from it, it makes you a better person learning from it, so that you won't repeat it, or that you actually learn, like, oh, I did do this, and this is the reasons why I do it. So I feel like this is the perfect time. I know her album is coming out, and I hope that it's more of Onika and less of Nicki Minaj, because I think that sometimes in relationships, especially when you're a power couple, you have that facade, with the superhero. Of course, you want to be this perfect superhero. The community loves you, but then also behind closed doors, there are some other things and maybe some issues too, and then people realize that you're not as perfect, quote and unquote, and that can, be a pro or a con. And I feel like in this situation, like Tracy was saying, when it's not making you a better person, there's no point to stay in it. Like, it's the reason why they ended it in the first place. If it was meant to be together then, it would have stayed together then. Now, moving forward, we don't know. But, we just hope that they're both going to be their best selves when they're with each other. And if they do decide to be with each other, they have to change some things, because we don't want them to be these people that they were that was not a good or a negative, outlook on them. We don't want that this go around. So if they do move forward, we hope that they take necessary tools and actions, make sure that they're on the right track as far as where they're going, and also how they're trying to live. I think that some people have to realize that when you're dating someone, like you're dating someone, they're still an individual, and sometimes in relationships people try to change each other or to make sure you blend in with my life, or I blend in with yours. It's like, hey, we have two separate lives, but we're just co-living together, and then we're being a team. So it's like, you can't control everybody else. You can't, and I think that sometimes people allow to be controlled because they feel like that's a way of somebody letting them know that they love them. And it's from, issues as well. Like, we all know as far as the hood and things like that, people growing up without fathers or missing fathers, or people not instilling different lessons into them. So we don't know the backstory of the reasons why these people became who they are, but it does affect you in your relationship later. And I just hope that they get to a point where they're having honest conversations with each other, dropping down those principles that we talk about all the time. Like, you actually got to talk about it. I hope that they're communicating. I hope they're working on those trust factors. Like, you really have to work on that to make sure that your relationship is solid. And so if she's thinking about it, think about it, girl. I hope you think about more too. I hope you think about what you can do to be a better you. Exactly.
Because you have to change yourself in order for you to be able to make your relationship change.
Yeah, 50-50s don't work. You got to be 100%.
I mean, I really feel like maybe, them being friends. You said she went to her court. You said she went to Meek's court case. Maybe she's still there talking to him while he's locked up, encouraging him. Like, just being there for him could start something off where it can ignite you to be able to change yourself and see what it is that you need to be in order to be with that person. And then, like you said, sometimes when it comes down to you being separate people, you can bring somebody into your world, but you can't expect them to just be totally engraved and to be someone else in order for you to accept them into their world. You have to really let them be them and have their own world, but then still allow them to be a part of you and be able to have them, go back and forth with how they feel. Like, to not control them on who they are, so that way you can feel like you love someone separate than you versus you only love them if they be exactly what you expect them to be. It's unhealthy for anybody to be in that situation. So love someone for who they are, let them be who they are, and then open them up to your world, and they'll gracefully just come, and when you invite them in, they'll just come in at that point.
Like, you can't change anybody, so you gotta allow them to be them, and you have the right to say, hey, I don't like the way that you do. And when you say that, it's like, oh, but I don't have to make sure that you change it. I can just simply walk away, or I can change me or how I look at things. But you can't change that person. And so there's other solutions to change it besides trying to change that person. As far as just communicating, that's number one. And also being clear about your intentions. They both have to be clear about their intentions as to why they're with each other and what they're trying to do to each other. Like, you have a goal with your relationship, with your marriage, with everything. You have a goal, whether it's to, you have to really, it's a lot of stuff actually. It's not just one thing, but you have to make a list of things that you feel like you want to achieve in this relationship, in this union. It's a mission, it's a calling that you have to do and you have to fulfill, and have to be on one accord with that. And so I just hope that they're, like you said, is getting a better them, you know, focusing on them, and maybe, you know, maybe she is communicating with him during this time, and I hope so.
Show some type of support. Like if you really care for somebody and you want to get back together, you're going to be there at that time when they need you. So if she is, that's a great sign for it. I just really feel like, you know, one of their biggest things that I see from the outside is just the growth. Like out of the 7 principles, I feel like the growth part, they started to grow apart at a certain point. Like, you know, I don't know when that was. Like we said, the chemistry was all there at the beginning. They was all into each other. And then it was seemed like the growth fell apart when it was like the lifestyles that obviously they chose. You know, it's a choice that has to be made by one person or both people as far as the lifestyle if y'all gonna live it together. You know what I mean? So it really comes down to sacrificing yourself for the good of your relationship. If y'all gonna build upon something, it's gonna be both of y'all building a foundation. You know, if you're gonna be separate and you're gonna choose separate lifestyles, and it's not beneficial to the other person, then maybe being friends might be best. So that way you don't have to involve them into your lifestyle if you know it's not best for them. Right. You know, at the same time. So.
Yeah, it could have just been the best decision for the both of them. I mean, by the end of the day, obviously it was, because they both were able to learn from it and move forward in different type of ways, you know. And I feel like he could have, you know, made a decision, though. They both could have made a decision to end things to better each other. Yeah. Like, you know, it don't have to always be bad or negative or, you know, have any type of things like that. I just think that, you know, it could have just been a good decision to let go at that time.
I still wish the best for them. Like I said, they was a shining light for, you know, relationships.
It was nice to
young
see.
Couple doing their thing, professional entertainers, you know, just a light for people to see. And you know, we definitely were influenced by that. So it'd be beautiful to see them vibrant in their best selves and being together. But if not, then it can be a disaster. And I wouldn't want that for either of them. So.
Right. Exactly. I agree with that. I really do.
Definitely, guys.
I guess that was it.
Yeah, that's our table talk for the day. That was pretty cool. We got to talk about some of our favorite characters in the music game and hopefully give you guys some. I mean, that's still characters. You got the Meek Mill and the Nicki Minaj, but that's not their real name. When they get together and they by themselves in their house.
That's not, you can say that's a superhero name.
Yeah, that's their superhero character.
Superhero name.
Superhero powered couples. Like, they are part of the SHPC squad. That's their superhero powered names. And, you know, hopefully they get together and they can be a more shining example for us.
That's everything, I guess, for Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill. We just hope that everything works out. We want Meek Mill to be free in everything, free out of jail, free in his mind and his spirit, and we just hope that he stays uplifted, and we hope that him and Nicki Minaj, whatever they decide to do, they're just doing it for themselves, as far as the best, and for them to be their best selves, and to spread light or positive energy to the world because we need it, and also to make sure that they're on the same wavelength as far as the relationship. We would like to see more power couples like that, that's our age, that are younger, that's doing it. You know, they're making millions of dollars. They are making a lot of movements in the community. Like, that's a power couple. You know, Meek Mill does a lot in the community. Nicki Minaj, she does a lot with her fans, with all her young teenager fans. She has a lot of different things that she's into. So it's just like, I just want this to keep going, even if it's not together. Keep it going individually, you know? And just keep supporting each other. You can still be friends. You know, you may not go and be romantically and, you know, don't bank on it. Like Nicki, don't bank on it. Don't bank on you guys, you know, getting together. Just think about it and figure out what work you have to do to make sure that does happen if you really want it. And vice versa for Meek Mill. So.
Just as a power couple, so many things you got to manage together, right? Like they're entertainment, they're already celebrities that's in the limelight. You got businesses on the side of your music. You know, you got people that's just, you know, looking up to you to be able to be this certain type of person. And then you got your relationship and who your mate is looking up to you to be this certain type of person. And it is a whole lot of stuff to manage at one time. So we understand where you guys are at, and if it's best for you guys, then it's going to happen. We wish you the best one.
Yeah. So that's it, if you guys haven't subscribed already, like we said in the beginning of the video, subscribe right now. Turn the notifications on so you hear more of our stories and our feedback about what's trending right now, what's going on. If you have any topics you want us to react to or talk about, let us know. Messages anytime. Make sure you take our relationship quiz. I'm telling you, it's going to help you with finding out your principles too, so you don't end up in a situation like Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill where you kind of go back and forth and don't know what to do. It's okay. This quiz will help you and Nicki or Meek Mill, if you're watching, you take the quiz too to see if you guys can be a great match. Again,
sure you take the quiz, subscribe, watch the rest of our videos. See you guys later.
See ya.
Peace.